I'd like to introduce a good friend of CMLS right now. She's been a director for a number of years, and she's been a force in this industry, and I think going to be an even stronger one in the years ahead. So please welcome Stephanie Hill from the Greater Las Vegas Association of Realtors.
Woo-hoo.
Right or left? Which is your best side?
Good afternoon. Everybody enjoy lunch? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this is, how do you compare or contrast this to when we did Vegas, what, 2 years ago with this
2 years
conference?
ago now.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, really a labor of love. So
Yeah.
I encourage anybody that's reached out to have this conference, you should do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was a great show, and then we had Austin last year, and then Salt Lake next
Yep.
year. It's going to be good. But you set the bar or sat at the bar, and
Well.
and then we tried to sit at the bar even more
Right,
every year
exactly.
since
I
then.
ordered martinis.
Yeah,
I don't know where they are.
tell me a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your role at Vegas right now.
Okay, I've been there 14 years. I was the MLS director, well, basically still am. The beginning of the year, we actually separately incorporated our MLS, but it's still fully association owned. So now I'm the vice president of the MLS.
Well,
Baby steps, we're growing. It's lessons to be learned, but I'm very excited about it. I have great leadership that is helping me to pave the way to where we need to be. Hopefully more nimble, innovative.
yeah, and you're also running the commercial MLS too,
Yes.
right? Is that a separate entity?
It's a separate board of directors.
Is that
and
right? So you're
exactly.
herding all those crazy realtors, right? Yeah.
I can say I was one for 24 years, so I can talk bad about realtors because I was one. So.
Yeah. So in the style of which we've done in past heroes of MLS or humans of MLS, as we've called it, tell us about this picture. That one on the left is a great one. Is that beautiful Lauren?
That is my beautiful Lauren.
Yeah.
And my beautiful mother.
And who's the guy?
I don't know. I met him on the street one night. My mother was state president of the Nevada Association, and I think this is 1989. And we were in Dallas at the NAR conference, and my mother was state president.
Oh, wow.
She is my hero, my mom.
Well.
And then I got a little hero who's not so little anymore that a lot of you may know, my daughter, Lauren Hill. She's in the industry. I tell her daily that there's no shot, no cure. When real estate is in your blood, it's in your blood.
Yeah. It's
And
like
that's it.
It's like the Hotel California, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you
That's
can never
absolutely-
leave.
Well, you know, so your mom was a big influence on
Big influence.
you, and is she still with us?
No, she's not.
Okay.
So
All
her
right.
sense of humor was second to none,
Yeah.
and her ethics, everything about her.
Well, now you don't have any competition with sense of humor anymore because now you're number one.
Well,
Yeah.
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 Good, David.
That's great. Yeah. She looks like a beautiful lady. Good family. And Mark, how long have you kids been an item?
We've been married 35 years.
Stop it.
Together are almost
Really?
39.
That's great.
Yeah, I was 10, and, I come from an Irish-Polish family where we're, obligated to get married before we're 15.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's that.
And then that picture on the right, that looks like a pretty sorted group.
Some
there,
of these
doesn't it?
people you may recognize. They're probably in this room right now. My husband and I, not knowingly, have been Nebraska Husker fans for most of our lives. Until we were married 5 years, until we discovered his mother was born and raised there, and my grandmother was born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, wait a minute. You guys were Nebraska fans before you even knew you had any Nebraska in your genes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my daughter, when looking for colleges, wanted to go to a football atmosphere college. And I said to her, well, I didn't realize you're playing football now, but she ended up at the University of Nebraska, which has become our second home. We go for a trek at least twice a year back to the Husker games. I'm not going to talk about the Huskers this year right now. We're rebuilding. But some of these motley crew that's in that picture, you'll recognize.
Yeah. Which one's the designated driver?
It's basically become kind of a mini conference when
That's
we
great.
attend these Husker games. So we'll be back in October for the Minnesota game, trying to get Mosey down there for that. And it's just a great time. I've been a huge sports fan. My dad was a professional ball player, so it's, you know, 'cause that's in my blood as well. So we get together. This is actually where we tailgate at a gas station on the corner by the stadium.
Well,
So,
you know, we have restrooms in a gas station,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's always good.
Exactly.
Sure, that's great. That's a good group. And so, what happens next for you and for Greater Las Vegas? What's happening next?
We're really looking towards the future of our MLS now that we have a separate board and what needs to be done. And you know, everybody in this room knows that things are changing so rapidly that we have to keep our eye on the ball, whether it's REZO standards, governance. We're having our first ever strategic planning for the MLS board this year, which I am so excited about because we have a great team and I think their eyes will be open more. And I think there's great things for us to come. And, you know, we're looking all over the place and everything is happening in the
Yeah.
landscape. We're kind of an island unto ourselves, but not in the landscape anymore, I don't think.
In geography terms, you're an island, but
geography.
in thought terms, you're
Absolutely.
eminently approachable. Eminently approachable.
Eminently.
Well, you are a bright bulb, and we thank you so much for all
I
your
thank you,
contributions.
David. You've been one of my heroes for many years, as
shoot,
you know.
that's great.
So.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Hill.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice job, man.
Thank you.